Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Lala and you're watching Lala Level Up. So as you can see, I'm going to be doing some skincare today while I tell you this story time titled My Crazy Love Story, My Crazy High School Love Story, something like that, right? And when I tell you this shit was crazy, it was absolutely crazy. This happened my senior year of high school. And like, at the time, it like really impacted me. Obviously now, I don't know, how long has it been? 12 years later, obviously I don't care anymore, obviously. But at the time when this like happened in my life, like it was like a really big deal and it like severely impacted me. And like, I was super depressed and like, I was just nowhere. I was just completely 180 of who I am today, right? So that was a very lavish introduction. Before we get into the story time, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Look at the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, click subscribe. Make sure you got your notifications on so you know when I post my videos. And just stop what you're doing and like the video, because the likes really, really help my channel and I need that engagement. So please like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. All right, y'all, so without further ado, let's get into it. I'm gonna start off with like doing a little toning. And what I use, if you care, is this. But I'm not gonna go through every single product that I use, but I will try my best to put it in the description box below. So like I said, this story time takes place my senior year of high school, right? And at this time, I was dating women. I was dating both women and men. And there was this girl that I met in high school. And initially, I didn't pay her no mind like that. Like, I knew she was the new girl at school, but like, it didn't matter to me. I was just like, okay, all right. And I didn't really pay her no mind. But then we ended up getting into the same like friend circle. And we ended up talking, and then like, I don't know, lo and behold, me and her just ended up really liking each other, and we got into, well, before we got into a relationship, we started to talk. But at this time when we first met, she had a girlfriend and I had a girlfriend, right? So we cheated on our girlfriends to just be with each other. That's exactly what we did. And initially she had broke up with her girlfriend. She was gonna break up with her anyway, you know? But she broke up with her girlfriend. She was with me. And I still had to break up with my girlfriend. But at the time, she was in Dominican Republic, like, visiting. So I was like, I can't break up with her while she's on vacation. Like, that's kind of fucked up. I gotta wait till she comes back to America, right? But both of our relationships were rocky. So we was like, yeah, we're breaking up with these women and we getting together. So that's what we did. And after that, me and her, we got into a relationship and we were like really, really happy for a while. Like with this girl, I really thought like she was gonna be the love of my life or my wife or something. Like I was super in love with her. And for the story time, I think I named her in a previous story time, but we're gonna call her Ziggy. No, her name was not Ziggy, but we're gonna call her Ziggy. So Ziggy and I was together. We was happy. We were like the only like lesbian couple in our school too. So we really stood out. So the story time takes place really my senior year, but her and I started dating my junior year. In total, we were together 3 years, right? From I was 16 to age 19. I don't know why I've been so hot lately, but like I had to pull my hair up because girl, it's so hot in here and I have the fan on and everything. But anyway, so me and Ziggy were together. It was really good at first, you know how it is in the beginning. And then it started to get toxic, you know, because we were young. We haven't healed from all of our trauma yet, you know. I was going through a lot at home. And at this time, I was undiagnosed with bipolar disorder. I didn't know I had bipolar disorder. But looking back, it was kind of obvious because my moods would shift very rapidly and for no reason. So that probably created conflict in our relationship because I could not handle my mood, and then she had some anger issues too. So like we kind of had our own issues, but we loved each other a lot, and that was like, that goes without saying. Like we loved each other a lot, and anyone who witnessed our relationship, they saw that too. But it would get really toxic, you know. We argued. There were times they got physical, you know. And it's hard. It's really, truly hard when you love somebody and then the relationship ends up turning sour because you never think that's going to happen. Especially when you're young. Like, when you're young, like, when at this age, me being 16, 17, I didn't ever see our relationship going bad. Like, bad to that level where we're, like, breaking up. I didn't. Like, I was just so naive, right? And, but it did. It ended up getting really bad. So, our senior year of high school, it was pretty challenging. So we started just having some like major issues, and at this point nobody had cheated. I mean, we flirted with other people, but we never cheated on each other, right? That ended up changing. So at this time we went to the same school, me and her, but we didn't have any classes together, like not even one, right? And so we were separated in school. We would see each other in the hallway, you know. She'd walk me to class when she could and things like that. But we didn't have any classes together. So she ended up getting really cool with this girl in one of her classes, right? And I didn't think anything about it at first. Until one day we were going to a party and we couldn't get into the party. Like, I don't know how or why. My memory like super sucks these days, but we couldn't get into the party for whatever reason, right? And then she was like, oh, let me call, what are we gonna name the girl? Amber. Oh, let me call Amber, she'll help us get in. And I'm like, Amber? Why do you have Amber's number? Like, at that time I didn't even know she was really cool with Amber. Like, I'm like, how do you, since when you was talking to her? Since when was that your friend or whatever? And then she's like, oh, we have class together. We'd be cool in class. I'm like, okay. Like, I think at that point, it was a red flag, but I didn't really pay no mind to it, and I should have. After that, it was like a couple more red flags. But like I said, I didn't pay no mind. I was just really naive, and I just thought she would never hurt me. I thought she would never cheat on me. I put so much faith in her. Like, I put her on a pedestal and made her somebody she wasn't. I thought she was somebody she wasn't. I just thought she was somebody she wasn't, right? I bigged her up to be perfect in my eyes. And she hurt me really bad. So what happened was one day we were at her house. And when I say her house, I mean her mom's house. Like, we were 16, 17. And I was at her house and we were arguing as usual. I don't know what we were arguing about, but her and I were arguing. And I was trying to see her phone. So I ended up getting her phone. I think at this time she was in the bathroom or something. I don't know. But I got a hold of her phone. And then, like, I started looking through some messages. And she caught me looking through her phone. And then she was, like, fighting me for her phone. Like, the way this girl was, like, fighting me for her phone, it's like, I already know you're cheating on me. Because there's no way that you're doing all of this. You're really ready to, like, fist fight me for this phone. Like, she, like, I think at this point, she, like, I think she slapped me. I don't know. It was crazy. I think she, like, slapped me to get her phone back. But at that point, I had, like, already seen the messages. I don't even remember what it said, but it was messages between her and Amber. And she was cheating on me with Amber, right? And when I found this out, I was, like, so dumbfounded. Like, I was, like, flabbergasted. Like, I was, like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I was literally in shock. And, because I never thought she would cheat on me. And I never thought she would cheat on me with Amber. Like, Amber wasn't even gay. Clearly, she was bi-curious or something. But, like, this bitch was not fucking with no bitches before then. Not that anyone could see. So it's like, bitch, you're not even gay. Like, what did you even do? You're just bored, bitch? So what happened was, I ended up finding the messages. It was really bad. Like, I think she ended up, like I said, I think she ended up slapping me. She did. Just to get that phone back. And it's like, you're really about to, like, fight me over this girl? Over me finding out what you're doing with this girl? And I was so mad. And then I remember before I left her house, she, like, got on her knees and was, like, begging me at my feet to not leave her. And I was like, girl, like, it's done, you know? So it was really bad. She was hysterical. I was hysterical. I ended up leaving her house, and I only lived down the street from her at this time. So I left her house. I was crying. And at this time, my mom was in Jamaica because one of our family members had died. So she was in Jamaica and I was home by myself. And I remember going in my house and I just started screaming like at the top of my lungs. I was home by myself and I just started screaming. And this happened so long ago, but thinking about the way I felt, it does bring back a lot of emotions. Even though I'm over it, I was so young, but I just remembered how bad that hurt me, you know? I really don't want to get emotional, but like, I remember how bad that hurt me, right? And anytime you tell a story, story time or whatever it is, your body cannot tell that you're just you're retelling the story. Your body, your biology, your physiology, it ends up reliving that experience. Like when you tell the experience, you end up getting all these emotions because your body believes you're reliving it, you're experiencing it all over again. So that's why I'm a little emotional right now, because it's like it's kind of like I'm living it all over again, right? And it was very hurtful for me at that time and for a very long time after that. So I remember I got home, I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was so hysterical. I never had screamed like that before, and I was just in so much pain and torment, you know? And I just was broken. I was just broken. And and then the next day I had to go to school. And I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to go to school because I didn't want to see her. Now that I knew that she was with this girl, like, I just didn't want to see them together. I just didn't want nothing to do with it. You know, I didn't want to go to school. And my friends were telling me, they're like, girl, you need to go to school. Like, pick your head up, hold your chin high, go to school. Like, don't be a bitch, you know? So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm going to go to school. So I go to school. And when I go to school, I see Ziggy in the hallway with Amber holding hands. And I just had to act normal. I don't know if this is a good story for me to tell. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This happened a long time ago, but I contemplated for a long time telling this story because I know how it affected me, and I don't want to become affected by it because me and Ziggy are still cool. I don't want to become affected, and I don't want to. All right, let me just tell a story, whatever. So I go to school, I see them holding hands together, and that was so traumatic for me because, like, I'm with you one day and the next day you're holding hands with this bitch in the hallway. Like, I don't even matter. Like, who is this bitch? So I was really hurt by it, and I'm like, I just have to act normal. And mind you, I'm all by myself at this point. Nobody's at my house. I'm basically living alone because my mom is in Jamaica. My family split up at this point. I have none of my sisters around me. I do have my friends, but I was just feeling like so down. I was like really depressed when this happened, and I basically just spiraled. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, like, I just really spiraled afterwards. I just became really rebellious. I got this tattoo that says live and let live. I ended up losing my virginity to somebody who was a piece of shit, to be honest, and I hate to say that, but it's fact. I ended up just hanging out with the wrong crowd. I was getting high every day. I was getting drunk every day. I had to smoke before school every day. Like, I could not be sober. I had to smoke before school every day. And then I had AP bio first period. I'm like, how am I going to advanced placement biology high as hell? Like, you know, so it was like really bad. I'm really about to lie to y'all. It was really bad. I got really rebellious and I was just severely depressed. Like, at this point, like, in my life when I was so young, like, I grew up in a toxic household. I grew up feeling unloved, you know? And at that point when I met Ziggy, I felt like for once I feel loved. You know, for once I feel loved. And then I feel like when she cheated on me, like, she took all that love away. And it was like, you wasn't even real. Like, you lied. You didn't love me. You can't do something like that to me and tell me you love me when you could have just broke up with me. I hate the fact that I'm getting emotional, but then again, I don't, because this is real and this is something that actually happened to me. And it doesn't really matter how long it was ago. Even though I'm not hurt by it now, me telling it again is gonna be hurt by it because this was a real life situation and it really hurt me that I had to witness this every day. It wasn't like, oh, I just got cheated on and like whatever. I don't know the girl, I don't see the girl, it doesn't like whatever. No, like I got cheated on by a girl who I thought was love of my life at the tender age of what, 17. And I had to see her be with this girl in my face every single day. And this happened in the winter. And like, I think ever since then I've had seasonal depression. Like every time the winter comes around, it just, whatever, I don't know. But like, yeah, I had to witness that every day, you know? And I was just so depressed. And I remember like, I would just listen to The Weeknd every day. Like the old Weeknd, like the trilogy, his trilogy albums and stuff. Like listening to The Birds, part 1, part 2. I would listen to that every day. And if you know, that's super depressing. Like, he was basically making suicidal music back then, like, you know? And I had that shit in my headphones every day, and I would walk so fast, and everybody said it, and everybody saw the change in me. And you know what's so funny? In high school, in the superlatives, do you know what I got voted? Do you know what my senior class voted me? They voted me as most changed. Yeah, I did change. I went from being happy and bubbly to quiet and monotone and depressed. I went from joyful to depressed. And everybody's seen it. So much so that they voted me most changed. Yeah, I did change. I did. And I'm sure to everybody, as much as I don't even give a fuck, and at the time I didn't even give a fuck, I'm sure I looked at batshit crazy. Like how I told y'all, I ran around the school tables to beat up that boy who lied about me. I gave him my virginity and he just acted like I was just some slut, right? Like so much things I did. I haven't even told y'all a story time about how me and Ziggy got into it in the library. That one's coming. So much things happened my senior year of high school, and me having a mental illness and not knowing I had a mental illness, me growing up in a toxic, abusive environment, all contributed to the behavior that I displayed when I was in school my senior year of high school. Me finally feeling love and then feeling betrayed by the one person I thought would never betray me. And then now as an adult, obviously you're like, it doesn't even matter who it is. Anybody could do me wrong. Like now that you grow up, you're mature, you realize you can't put nothing past anybody. But at that point, I was so young and my brain was so young and tender. And I never even could fathom the thought that this girl could have done this to me, right? So the fact that when she did it to me, and to me, it was like undoable. Like, y'all, I can't explain that. Like when I found out she cheated on me, it was so left field to me that like the shit, like me going through this traumatic experience, it really fucked up my psyche at that point. I think because my brain was not all the way developed, I experienced something that was so traumatic for me that like it did something to me biologically. It really did something to me, right? Emotionally, it severely damaged me and severed me, and it fucked up my emotions. Me having a mood disorder already, going through this traumatic experience fucked up my emotions even more. Fucked up my perspective on love. Because think about it. On relationships, because think about it, I'm with this girl who I thought was the love of my life. She ends up cheating on me, so my perception of love is changing. I ended up giving my virginity away to this guy who just went around the whole school lying, saying he fucked me 100 times, like I was just some slut, right? So now, naturally, my perspective on having sex and men is different. So I feel like at a young age, like I experienced pain from people who should have never hurt me. Pain from people I was vulnerable with. You know, I gave you my heart and you misused it. I gave you my body and you misused it. So at that time, I could not cope with my emotions. I couldn't handle them. I couldn't manage them. I couldn't cope with them. I couldn't work through them. So how I was handling it was being rebellious, being angry, and being sad. It was a lot of drama. So in the midst of me getting cheated on and me going through this rebellious stage, I ended up losing my virginity. And you guys see that story time about titled I Lost My Virginity and then I got arrested, right? And then I ended up getting arrested. Like, it was just so traumatic. I went through a lot of traumatic things that I don't really talk about for obvious reasons. But some things I am going to talk about because it's some things that people can relate to. And I'm never afraid to be my true raw self. I don't give a fuck about no platform. I don't give a fuck about nobody's opinions. I don't give a fuck about nothing. Like, I'm just going to be LaQuelle. And during this time, there was a lot of talks, like, through the grapevine that Amber was talking shit. Like, you know, obviously people see me and Ziggy one day and then the next day see Ziggy with Amber. People are not dumb. They put two and two together. They see what's going on. So people are asking questions, asking me questions, asking them questions, trying to pin us against each other. I'm just being careless with my life. I'm not caring about nothing. But I'm still going to school. I'm still getting high every day before school, whatever. So then, with all the drama going around, I was sick and tired of it. I heard Amber was talking shit. I'm mad at this bitch because she was the other girl. Like, you knew me and Ziggy was together and you still want to go fuck with her when you know we're together. So then, let me back up. So a little while after I saw her phone and saw that she was cheating on me, I ended up getting Amber's number and I ended up calling Amber and was talking to her about it. Like, I was just confronting her, asking her questions, trying to get answers because I felt like Ziggy was not giving me answers, right? So yeah, I definitely called her on some, bitch, give me the details. Amber was being so nasty to me. And one thing I am gonna, well, maybe I shouldn't say it. Let me not get carried away. Let's save that for the end. But Amber was being so nasty to me. Like, I remember even to this day, and I'm gonna say that. Fuck all that. Because if y'all don't, this is part one. Part one is about to end right here. But if y'all don't watch part 2 and part 3, just know. This shit happened 12 years ago, but as you're gonna see in this story time, it doesn't matter how much time goes past. If I ever see Amber on the street, she's getting her ass beat. She's getting her ass beat. I don't care if she's with her kid. She's gonna get her ass beat right in front of that kid. Because you're gonna see how she moved in this story, how manipulative and how dirty she was, how nasty she was, and how her whole mission was to make me go through extreme pain. Like, the things she lied about, the way she moved, how she handled the situation, how she really tried to destroy me. Like, looking back now, I feel like that bitch was trying to make me kill myself. That's what I really think. I'm not even about to hold you. But, like, yeah, I'm gonna say that now in case y'all don't watch part 1, part 2. I haven't seen that bitch on the street. She in another state. If I see the bitch on the street, the bitch getting her ass beat. But let me just move on. I actually ended up seeing Amber in the hallway amidst of all of this talk, right? I ended up seeing this bitch in the hallway. And I confronted her. I was looking for her to fight her, actually. I remember I skipped class and I was looking for her in the hallway. I was on a mission to beat her ass. I was looking for her and I found her. And that's how we're gonna end part 1. Stay tuned for what happens in part 2. I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you tune in for the next story. And as always, you can be, do, and have whatever you desire. You are limitless. Until next time, Lala, level up.